What's going on, guys? Tournzy with here today, and welcome back to another NHL 17 franchise mode playthrough with the Edmonton Oilers. In today's episode, we're going to be simming the rest of the season, and maybe even doing a bit of the off-season, but we'll see where the playoffs takes us. That's the big question. I'm actually not sure if I'm going to do the playoffs, but you can see here, we're about 42 games in. We have a record of 25, 15, and 2. We're doing very well. This is the first season we've actually been in a playoff position, so you can see we're 3 points behind Calgary there for the division lead, which is like the best season we've ever had. So you can see finally starting to transition from those Californian teams dominating to the Alberta teams and the BC. Well, I guess Vancouver's down there too now, but really just dominating. Go ahead and show you guys our lineup real quick. Just in case this is your first time here, you can see who we have. But we're in 2018. You can see first line Lucic is still there, almost a maxed out player. McDavid, almost a maxed out player as well. 94 overall, and Jordan Eberle is our first line. Second line, we have Nail Yakupov, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and Nick Ehlers, which have been pretty good for us, although PRV basically has many points as Eberle and Ehlers, so is actually Yakupov as well. So I was thinking about moving him up potentially. He is younger and does have really bad defense, but if he's getting the points, I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? Does it? Anyways, on the third line, we got Kirby Reichel, Leon Draisaitl, and Jesse PRV. Like I mentioned, PRV's been a pretty good player for us. 7 points there. Sorry, he is a -3 though, so that's kind of a concern. And on the fourth line, Matthias Janmark, Martin Hanzal, Rocco Grimaldi. So you can see pretty solid team there. Nobody under an 82, and lots of potential guys. You see PRV in there. You see Draisaitl in there. You see Grimaldi in there. You see Kirby Reichel in there. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins in there. Nail Yakupov in there. Nick Ehlers in there. And Connor McDavid in there. Of course, everybody knows who he is. The only people we have above 27 is Lucic, Eberle, Hanzal, and Janmark. Oh, actually, Janmark's 26 too. So basically, our whole team has got potential, which is fantastic. Defense, a little bit of a different story. We got some pretty equal pairings here. So Griffin Reinhart, Adam Larson, Andre Sekera, Oscar Klefbom, Darnell Nurse, and Andre Suster. So again, there's a lot of potential in here too. You can see Darnell Nurse, 23 years old, low elite potential. Oscar Klefbom, 25 years old, low elite potential. Griffin Reinhart, 24 years old, top 4 medium potential. Adam Larson, 26 years old. So this is really his last year to get better. Well, after this year, next year was his last year to get better. And he's been on the team as an 85, and he hasn't gotten better at all. So that's not good. And then in goal, we got Yanni Ortio and Cam Talbot. Cam Talbot's our starter, but Ortio seems to be starting the next game, so that's why he's up there. Okay, goaltending duo, where we really have a lot of good players is on forward. I'll go ahead and show you our scratch players now too. So Nolan Patrick, I'd like to get him a little bit more, but he wasn't really showing us too much this year. You can see we've picked him first overall in the 2017 draft. He's listed as a third line scorer, but hasn't really shown us much. We'll just take a look at his career stats real quick. So he's played 13 games and he's only got 1 point. I mean, he was playing on the fourth line, but yeah, I mean, we weren't putting him in a position to succeed, that's for sure. Caleb Jones also back here, and Ethan Bear, 2 more potential guys that are 20 years old on defense. So that being said, guys, that's enough of the lineup things. We made a couple big trades this year, but I don't think we're going to make any more. I'm pretty happy with our team. So let's go ahead and get into the simulating here. Holy crap, 8-0 loss. That was a bad one to end here. I don't know if we're going to make many more trades, but we'll do it how we usually do, guys. We're just going to go in 5-game stints and make adjustments accordingly as we go. Alright, so first couple games back at it here. We beat the San Jose Sharks in San Jose. We lose to the Colorado Avalanche in Colorado. We beat the St. Louis Blues. We beat the Boston Bruins. Can we beat Ottawa to make it a 4-win 5-game stint? Yes, we can. So there we go. Looks like our AHL team is doing pretty good too. I guess I didn't show you guys the AHL team. I could do that in a bit. anybody in the stream wants to shout out and say they want to see the AHL team, just let me know. I just don't think it's that exciting, you know what I mean? It's the NHL where most of the important stuff happens. So let's go ahead and sim the next 4 games, or 5 games, sorry. Up to this game against, or that's 3 games, so up to this game against Anaheim. And like this year, I think what it is we're finally... Wait, whoa, did somebody else get named captain? What happened there? I didn't see what happened, but it looks like McDavid got... I thought he was our captain, but he got down to... Okay, so we're getting offered a goalie, Michael Neuwirth. Let's go check his stats out. I would be definitely 100% willing to give this stuff up, but I don't know if Neuwirth is really worth it. You know, he's just a backup goalie. He's 30 years old. How much better is he really than Yanni Ortio? You know what I mean? Brings depth to the organization, but it doesn't bring us an all-star, which is what we really need. I don't think I'm going to make this trade, guys. Let's see if they have anything else, though, that we can trade. Like, who actually is their starting goalie? So it looks like their starting goalie is... So they got 3 starting goalies, basically. They have this guy named Hart, who's 20 years old. Has potential to be a starter. And then they have Stolers, which has potential to be a fringe starter, but he's 25 years old, so don't think we're going to worry about that too much. We're going to have to decline that trade, unfortunately, guys. I mean, if I didn't have to give up the 2nd round pick, like, what can I give that's... I don't think I'm going to be able to give up anything that's... Well, what if I can give you Ortio? If I can give you Ortio, I'll take this deal. They're more interested in Lehtinen, though. Let's see. No, that messes up the trade value for sure. Let's see if what Ortio does to the trade value. I mean, it's pretty equal. This is what I would counter propose, just because I'd rather have Neuwirth than Ortio anyways. Let's see if this goes through. Okay, so Flyers aren't acceptable. Aren't gonna accept that. That's fine. Let's just go ahead and move on. Okay, so 3 games there, lost in overtime, a big win against the Canucks, and a big loss to the Dallas Stars. So let's in the last 2 games of that 5-game stint here. Alright, amateur scout call. Gosh, we have already scouted the CHL. Let's take a look at the Americans. I don't think we're going to looking at forwards. We're going to be looking at D-man. 6 weeks, there we go, 30% of the season. Okay, so still beating majority of the teams in our division, which is good to see. Struggling. Okay, so Ryan Nugent-Hopkins seems to have gotten injured. Let's go ahead and make the line changes here, guys. The good thing I actually like about our guys getting injured is it brings in Nolan Patrick, which is good to see, but then it puts PRV down to the 4th line, which I 100% disagree with. We're going to put him up to the 3rd line, and see, I don't understand why Ehlers is over there either. I feel like he should be over here. Whatever, I guess. We'll leave him over there. Nolan Patrick slots in. He's a 3rd line scorer. What's Hansel listed as? A 3rd line checker. With PRV on that line, I think... Who's got better defense? Okay, Hansel's got better defense, so it's probably best that I leave him. Oh, but then the 4th line's just awful. Well, not awful, but you know what I mean? It's nothing special about it, so I guess we'll leave it like that. And keep simulating here. So there's a loss to the Tampa Bay Lightning. We didn't do very good in that stint. I think we had like 3 losses. One of them was in overtime. But let's keep simulating here. Again, trade deadline looks like it is... oh, it's on the 1st. So we still have a little bit here before we have to make any last-minute decisions. So 5 more games. Let's keep it going. And then we're up to a big game against Calgary, who is, I believe, still the division leader. We have been winning as well, but I don't know if we've been winning at the same pace as the Flames. We'll check that in a sec here. Who is this? 75 overall, D-man, AHL top 2 potential. How old are you? 24? I don't know if that makes our AHL team better. I think I'm going to take him, though. Let's go ahead and take him, and we'll deal with him after. Just because he's on the Stars. Let's go ahead and piss off the Stars a bit, because they frickin' killed us 6-1 in that last game, which is not what I like to see. So Nugent Hopkins ready to play again. Before we do that, let's go ahead and see if Patrick got any more points. There we go, 2 more points for the kid. He got an assist, or 2 assists, looks like. But he's going to slot out of the lineup now. So this is interesting. See, it's putting PRV on the third line, or in the second line with Nugent Hopkins, and it's saying that's our best lines, which it isn't. You know what I mean? This would be our best lines. Do we give him the opportunity though? Let's go ahead and give him the opportunity, and I'll give him a 3-game window. If we don't win 2 out of the 3 games, then he's coming off that line. Okay, that's what we're gonna do, guys. Because Nick Ehlers hasn't been performing that well for us either. So first game against the Anaheim Ducks, do we beat them? Okay, Hopkins, injured ribs again. What are you doing, man? So best lines is still telling me to put PRV up there, which I guess we will do. Let's give him a chance. So first game against the Ducks, can we beat them with PRV on the second line? Yes, we do. 3-0 win, a very convincing win. But now we have a big game against the Flames. So just looking at our records there, they've have 2 more games played than us, but we're tied in points. So let's just get out of the calendar for a sec here, and let's go take a look actually at their, so we're tied in points, but we got 2 games in hand, and we're starting to run away with the division lead. So very good to see. We're going to hold a team meeting, because this has been a big rivalry all year for us, and it's going to be a good rivalry for years to come. So Lucic wants to meet. Management's really doing, thank you, I appreciate that. I think we know what we're doing too. So I'm glad that didn't affect him, didn't want his morale to go down. So last time I was demanding, and everybody was pretty fired up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that again and see what it does to the boys. And that gets them fired up. No negative traits, so that's good to see. We will be going with that a little bit more often. Let's see if we have any more presence in the room. So McDavid's our leader, that's no question. I mean, 22 years old and 94 overall. It's probably pretty self-explanatory why he's our leader. Yanni Ortio's a presence, Everly's a presence, Larson's a presence, Hansel's a presence, Grimaldi's a presence, and PRV is a presence. Up to 83 overall, so that's fantastic to see. Fan happiness is still pretty good too at 91. Locker room chemistry up to 83. I'm not going to real-time sim this game just because it's just a regular season game. If it was, a little bit more important, we would have a real time to like playoff games, or if we were gonna make the playoffs in the last couple, you know what I mean? So Cam Talbot's getting injured here. That's not good. We will just go assistant coach best roster, and Darnell Nurse looks like he's able to play too. I didn't even know Darnell Nurse was injured, so not sure what happened there. So they put PRV back on the 4th line. This makes no sense to me. He goes up to the second line, then down to the 4th line. I don't know what the computer wants for him, but clearly he seems to be doing well on the 3rd line, so I don't think we're going to change that. The defense look like. So Reinhardt, Larson, Klefbom, Sekera, and Jen Nurse slotting back in there. That's good, that's good. And do we beat Calgary? So this was a big moment for us. Let's see, do we? Can we? 2-0 loss, okay, but PRV's no longer on the 2nd line, so we're not going to worry too much about that loss, but that gives them the lead over us now, doesn't it? I'll actually go back to that screen in a sec too, just to see what our popularity's at. So yeah, we're 2 points behind. No, I don't want to exit the GM mode. What am I doing? So, okay. Let's go ahead to back to the calendar, and we can keep simulating here. So we'll go 1 game at a time again. I guess there's no point really going 1 game at a time because what's his face is back on the 3rd line. So let's just sim right up here to the trade deadline. Finally getting a win back. That's good to see. And what's Nugent Hopkins is back here, so that's going to pull Nolan Patrick out of the lineup, but we're going to leave PRV on the 3rd line, not letting Grimaldi take over his spots, and he's still playing in his natural position. See, the thing that's kind of messed up right now is we have 4 really solid right wingers, and 3 kind of not, well, 2 not solid left wingers. So it kind of messes up people not playing in the right position. Like Ehlers should be on the right wing here, and then Grimaldi should be over on the left side, and everybody here would be playing their natural position. But because of Grimaldi and Janmark not being that good of wingers, they're both playing on the 4th line with Hansel. So no growth on the defense there. Looks like Yakupov's up to an 86. Not sure if that's just morale or if that's natural growth. I'm sure it's just morale because we're doing so well. But regardless, it's good to see. So Nolan Patrick losing morale for being scratched. I'm sorry, buddy. We'll get you back in the lineup as soon as we can. So we kind of have a pretty big, what do we have here? 80 overall, Teemu Pulkkinen. How old is this guy? 27 years old, 80 overall. Do we get him for depth? His defense is 2.5 stars, so I don't really think he's worth it. We're going to go let him be claimed by someone else. We don't need him. And we beat the Red Wings anyways, so 37, 20, and 5 so far up to the trade deadline. So we have a huge decision to make right now, guys. Do we trade Martin Hansel? That is my question to you guys. You know, do we trade this guy? We're at the top of the division. Our offense is at 95. Okay, so if we trade him away, that brings in Nolan Patrick to the lineup. But I'm just going to go ahead and show you why I was looking at trading him. Okay, so first off, he's getting old. He's in his 30s. He's 31 or 32 now. And we have a lot of contracts coming up this year. So Sekera and Hansel, both pretty big parts of our team, actually. Maybe I should trade Sekera instead. How many points does Sekera have for us? I'm pretty sure he's leading our team out in points. He always does. He's got 21 points, so, I mean, trading him away would be a big loss, but I think we need to do it just for cap purposes. I mean, 3 years left. Guy's 32. I'd rather keep Hansel, just because we have 2 D-men that are scratched that can kind of slot in for him right now. It allows Nurse to get on to the top 4 pairing. So I think we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to try and get rid of Sekera here. I don't want to trade him to a divisional opponent. We're going to look at somebody in the East. So, see, I would rather just get him for a pick. So somebody that won't be over the salary cap in the East if we trade it to him. So Detroit's over the cap. They're over the cap. So this might be a pretty difficult trade to find. Okay, but the Devils don't want him, so that's a problem. I could trade him to Nashville, because they're a contender as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. See if they want to give away any picks for him. I think that's all I really want out of this. So a 2nd round pick. Okay, so they have more, but what's the trade value? That's a pretty fair trade value in my opinion, and it's saving about 5 million cap space for us. Okay, so I got to put in a player as well. Just a guy like Jordy Bellerive, 19 years old, a bottom 6 forward. I mean, his skating's phenomenal. Let's see if what that does to the trade value. Yeah, that's not going to be fair, so I don't think they're going to take that. Let's go ahead and remove him. It's got to be somebody with a little bit less trade value than that. Somebody down here, just bottom 6 potential. So these guys are both 20 years old. This guy's got media potential, so I'll trade him instead. This, I think, is a pretty fair trade. But let's see. Let's propose it and see what they say. Okay, so they took the trade. We got rid of Sekera, we got a draft pick, and we got a bottom 6 potential player, which, you know, isn't the best potential, but it's better than nothing, is what I say. So yeah, better than nothing. We got rid of him, saved some salary, and that allows another player to slot in for us. So we will just go best lines, and then we'll go do our own roster moving. So that was a pretty quick trade. Didn't have to do too much deliberating there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the lines. So that brings down our defense to a 90. We're just going to go best lines here and see what it gives us. So again, we're putting Prairie on the 3rd line. He needs that playing time. And that brings in Ethan Bear to the bottom 6. And it actually doesn't put up Nurse, which is interesting. It puts up Andre Schuster, who's a defensive defenseman. So Ethan Bear, you can see we got him in the 5th round before we came here. Top 6D potential. He is 21 years old, so plenty of time to get better. Fantastic skater, not very physical, not very big either, but that's okay. I'm sure he can move the puck. He's a two-way defender. So not too worried about that. We'll leave him in there, and let's go ahead and get back to the simulating. Hopefully the loss of Sakara doesn't do too much to the simulation engine. I think it was the right move for our organization at this point in time. I mean, we're first in the division. We may go on a playoff run, and I don't think he was that key of a part to our playoff run. So that being said, let's see how the simulating goes for us. I don't want to bash the guy completely, and then we start losing every single game. Zach Castle, just go best lines down there, not worried about that. We already made our trade, so we're not going to worry about that either. Hansel had 2 years left, so if it may be, we should be able to trade him at the draft, because he doesn't have 1 year left, and everybody's going to be like, no, I don't want to take that contract, because then I have to negotiate with him. Oh, that's the worst thing. But so far, we have the 2 games. Okay, so what do we have here? Season ticket prices. So they started. Let's go ahead and we'll go auto assign all this. I mean, I don't know what the hell I'm doing here, and it seems to be increasing, even though only 60% of it is sold, which is weird. I've seen it higher in the past couple. So I don't think we need to advertise to the season tickets anymore. Let's more advertise towards game tickets. I think we make more money that way. Okay, there we go. So 30, well, let's go 35, 35. And whatever general advertising is, we'll leave that at 30. Go ahead and save that budget. Now, I'm sorry if my voice sounds a little raspy, guys. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, actually. Feeling kind of sick. Feel like I have a sore throat. Just go get a drink of water. So a couple big wins there. Carl Garunstone. We got to take a look at our AHL. We got to take a look at our AHL team. They've been killing it the last couple years. They haven't won the Calder Cup or anything like that, but there's definitely some good prospects down there that are worth taking a look at. So let's actually go ahead and do that right now. Locker room chemistry has actually gotten better. Seems like we're having a pretty good March here with the AHL team as well. Holy crap, our defense is absolutely phenomenal on this team. So Taylor Beck, Roop Hintz, 2 of our... Well, this guy's going to be a premier player for us one day. Look at his skating and his senses. Sure, his defense sucks, but that'll get better, hopefully, with time. Who else do we have in here? I don't think we have anybody else. Oh, this guy we drafted last year. He's up to a 71, so that's good. I think we drafted him, and he was like 68 overall. No potential guys there. Tyler Benson's our only potential guy here, and he's a left wing. He's playing on the right wing, so he's gotten up to a 75 as well. That's good, actually. Good to see. He may actually play in the NHL one day for us if he keeps that growth up. Roop Hintz, I think, is definitely going to play in the NHL for us. We're going to have to get rid of RNH or Draisaitl. We'll see how it goes. But the defense, looking really stellar there. Here's our potential guy. Our top 6D is 75 overall right now. Nima Linen as well. I forget where we got this guy. 3rd round pick in 2016, so one of the first drafts with the Edmonton Oilers. We picked this guy, and he's 77 overall. He got potential to be a low top 4D, but he's definitely on his way. Davidson is top 6, 7th D, and that's it there. I don't think we have anything in goalie either. No, Laura Kine, and then Lassie Lettinen, I guess, low backup, 20 years old, 72 overall. So overall, pretty good growth happening in the AHL right now, even though we haven't been monitoring it too much. Let's go ahead and sim a few more games in the NHL here. Definitely going to get to the end of the NHL season by this video. Okay, so 5 more games. There we go. Oh, looks like we got to do something with the... let's just go best roster for now. Sorry, Brissois. It was a matter of time. I try my best just to get away, but Alright, let's stop that simulation, guys. We have scouted there now. Let's go ahead to somewhere out in Sweden. Always some good forwards in Sweden, so let's take a look at the forwards out there. And we seem to be on quite the roll here, guys. Oh, there, it gets snapped as soon as I say something. That's hilarious. But we had like 6 games in a row there where we won. So you can see our local popularity is finally out of the red. National popularity is growing as well. Still devoted and hardcore. Looks like our team store needs to be maintained, so let's go ahead and do that. I wonder how much funds we have left too. So still about $1 million. That's no big deal. So we'll repair that. This is an owner requirement, but I'm gonna have to maintain all this stuff soon, so I don't really want to do that just yet. 5 more games here. We're absolutely on a roll, guys. I don't want to stop anything. I don't want to change anything. Ooh, Lucic is injured with a mild concussion, so that's a big loss for us. First time that he's really gotten injured. Let's go ahead and go best lines. So that brings Nolan Patrick into the lineup, which is interesting to see. They're throwing Pjarvi on the left wing second line instead of one of our natural left wingers. We're definitely not going to do that. We're going to go ahead and put everybody in their natural position except Nolan Patrick. Maybe he should play on the third line, actually. Is he a right-hander? Yeah, so never mind. He's going to play on the fourth line there on the right wing. Jordan Eberle up on the first line with McDavid and Ehlers. I think that's fine. 1 second here, guys. Hello. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Looking at our lineup again here. So yeah, Lucic out. That leaves a big hole in our lineup, but it's okay. We're gonna get through it. There's a first loss without Lucic against his old team, the Boston Bruins. Another loss against the Ottawa Senators, so that's not good. Seems that he's a pretty big part of our team, and when he's not there, we seem to be losing some games. There we go, finally get a win in Columbus. Oscar Klefbom is injured as well. Okay. So getting hit with the injury bug at the end of the season here, that's never good. I'm going to go best lines. And actually let it play out like this and see how we do in the simulation engine if the computer actually knows what it's doing. Okay, so there's our 2 backup D-men in the lineup. Okay, so Milan Lucic is back, finally. Had kind of a difficult stint without him there. Okay, so best lines brings him in there. Top line. It wants PRV on the second line, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that how it is. Reichel and Ehlers on the third line with Draisaitl, and then Grimaldi takes out Nolan Patrick. That's okay. So let's go ahead and keep this simulation engine going. I want to see how best lines does versus how, my god, we have been. What's going on with these injuries right now? We're getting smoked. So how's the defense look? How many injuries do we have? It's putting Hansel on defense. I don't think we're going to do that. Or should we? Because that lets Patrick play, and he's huge. You know what? That's fine. I actually don't mind that. We're going to leave Hansel in the third line pairing. He won't get a ton of ice time there anyways. So who cares about that? And we actually win with him on defense, 4-3. So that's pretty interesting. So only 5 games left in the season, guys. I'm just going to go ahead and sim through them all. I don't think we need to slow down at all. We may even get 50 wins this season. That's absolutely incredible. But we need to maintain something in the... Let's go best lines. Okay, we need to maintain something in the arena. So parking lot, let's go ahead and maintain that parking lot. Or repair it. I don't know what there is to repair in the parking lot, but whatever. Looks like a couple more things are coming up as well. I don't know if we're going to have enough money to do all this stuff. Okay, so 4 more games left in the season here. All we need is 2 wins to get to 50. So there's a loss. Can we beat the Nashville Predators? Please tell me we can. Yes, we can. One more win. We got 2 tries left to get 1 win. And there it is, guys. 50-win season. And we end the season on a bad note, losing 3-2 to the St. Louis Blues. But that's okay. Overall, I think it was a pretty good season for us. We will go ahead and check the stats in a sec here, but let's just go ahead and maintain this, get this out of the way. There we go, club seats. We will upgrade you hopefully this offseason. No guarantees though. Sorry, our owner wanted to say something to us as well. So, boost team chemistry, we've definitely done that. We didn't win our home opener. Did we get the expected profit? I think we did. We're sitting at like 33 million or something. And then we'll get this goal in the off season when that day comes. So that doesn't come till August, so we should be fine for that. What does this want to show me? I don't understand. So it's still saying that we're a playoff hopeful, which I 100% disagree with. I believe we just won that division. Yeah, so we just won the Pacific Division, and you're calling us a playoff hopeful. We are a playoff. We are a contender. You've got to be kidding me. We're 100% a contender. 95 offense, 90 defense, and 87 overall goaltending. That's fucking fantastic. So you can see we won the division there. Calgary coming close behind us. We'll check the individual stats first. So McDavid having himself a amazing season with 96 points. I'm sure that's the top of the league. We will check after, but let's go ahead and segregate by position. So Connor McDavid, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, so he missed a little bit of time this year, 8 games, only came up with 45 points. And then all of our other centers were actually minuses. So Draisaitl's a minus, even though he's got 27 points. Hansel's a minus, and Nolan Patrick was a minus. So McDavid doing some work there and making up for everybody's slack. If you actually put all their minuses together, it ends up being even because McDavid was such a plus. That's funny. Okay, looking at the left wingers, Lucic obviously benefiting from playing with McDavid, 77 points there, but then it really drops off after Lucic. This is what I was saying with having really good right wingers, but having difficulty to find talent on the left wing. So Kirby Reichel playing on our third line, only 24 points, 28 PIMs, but he is a plus, so that's good. Grimaldi, 23 points on the fourth line, pretty good, and 20 points for Matthias Janmark. Okay, so looking at the right wingers, this is kind of where our dilemma comes in, okay? We got Everly playing on the first line. He missed about 8 games this year, but he got 65 points. He's our main goal getter on the team, not counting McDavid. Yakupov on the second line, 62 points, so pretty much doing just as well as Everly. But then look at this, guys. So Nick Ehlers played on the second line and even the first line for a good chunk of the season. Has the exact same amount of points as Jesse Purvi. So this kid is really making his points of why he should move up this playoff run. But we'll see how it goes. He was a minus. We definitely have some trading to do. Maybe we could trade Yakupov or Ehlers. I think I'd rather trade Ehlers because he's getting less points consistently. Even though he had more goals than Yakupov, and Yakupov is a sniper, which is weird. We could trade one of these guys for a better left winger, just so that our lineup balances out a little bit better. Okay, so defense here, finally having some good seasons from our defense. Adam Larsson, 22 points, Klefblom, 21, and Griffin Reinhardt, 18, and then it really drops off. Nurse only with 6 points, Suster with 4, Ethan Bear with 4. But Ethan Bear only had 25 games played, so maybe that's some potential for things to come. If you average that out, he'd have about 16 points and be right up there in our top 4. So we'll see about that. Ludwig Brystrom, looks like he came up a couple times to play 3 games. He actually got a point, but he was a minus. So our bottom 3 D-men were minuses, but our top 3 were all pluses. On to the goalies here. This is the big one for me. Our goalies are the ones that really need to shine in the playoffs if we can't score. I know we have a high-flying offense, but if we can't stop the puck from going to the net, we're never going to get out of the hole that we dig ourselves in. So Cam Talbot, .915 save percentage, pretty good. Ortio, .912, and Brossois even with .906. So that's good to see, although, I mean, you can see why the hierarchy is the way it is. Cam Talbot up there, Yanni Ortio is our backup, and then Brossois is in the minors, just based off that save percentage. 33 wins for Cam Talbot, 12 for Ortio, and 5 for Brossois. Pretty good. So Ortio actually had a better goals against average than Talbot, but Talbot had a better one than Brossois, so that's good still. I mean, he played a lot more games, so I think he would expect a little bit higher goals against average, especially with the team we have built. I mean, 95 overall offense, that's insane. So that's it for the individual stats. Actually, you know what? Let's check the league. We wanted to see where McDavid was and if he won the league title, or the Art Ross, sorry. So let's go ahead and do that. And yes, he did, and by a comfortable margin, 9 points ahead of Sidney frickin' Crosby, okay? After that, we got Stamkos, Phil Kessel, Evgeny Malkin, Patrick Kane, Milan Lucic up there as well. Good to see he's in the top 10. Derek Stepan, Brent Burns, Zuccarello, Kucherov, Ben Atkinson, Taze. This guy is interesting. He's only a top 6 sniper, 86 overall, but he seems to be consistently up in the top 20 here with the big names. So he's an interesting player to watch. Maybe we can pick him up a lot later on in his career and see what he can do here in Edmonton. Granted that we are still in Edmonton and don't get fired. So there's some of the other guys here. You guys can pause at any point in time if you want to see. Okay, let's go ahead and check out the team stats now. So, Pacific Division, we clinched, looks like, the conference. So, really good season for us. I'm sure we had the most goals for per game. Yes, oh no, we didn't. We're 0.01 behind the San Jose Sharks. We had a lot more points than them, though, so that's no problem. Goals against per game, didn't do too well still. We're pretty high up there, 2.57. Although we averaged 2.88, 2.57 is still relatively high. We could work on that for sure. Power play looks like it was best in the division, 22.8. Really good power play there. I'm happy with that. PK still a place we can improve. 80.8. You can see in the lower part of the division. And the record's pretty even there, winning most of our games at home and on the road. Good to see 26 at home, 24 on the road. Only 5-4-1 though in our last 10, which is interesting to see. I want to see how that ranks up against the entire league, just our power play and such. Okay, so goals for, we are top 4. Goals against, we are like kind of middle of the pack there. Power play percentage, we should be up there with this, yes. #1 power play percentage in the league. Second was the San Jose Sharks, who are also in our division. PK, I don't think we're going to be up there. We're actually in the bottom half of the NHL. You can see us right there. No shorthanded goals for. What about our power play goals for? Yeah, we had the most there, so that's good to see. I guess our power play percentage was the highest, so that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know what else to show you guys here. Let's see who we have first round of the playoffs. So we completed the season. That's our first real good winning season, and we went hard. 50 wins, only 26 losses, and 6 overtime losses. Fan happiness still way up there at 84. Let's go ahead and best lines with Clef Bob in there. I will adjust the lines probably for the next video. Okay, how many more days do I gotta go ahead and sim? I just want to see our first round opponent. Okay, so the LA Kings, here we go. Owner goals evaluated, good job. I expect goals to be accomplished when I set them. Keep doing this and you'll be shooting for an extension when the time comes. So we boosted team chemistry, got $20 extra, good to see. And our first round matchup, we have the big, the bad, the LA Kings. Do I want to check them out in this video? I think we should. I'll do it in the next live stream for sure too. But let's just go ahead and take a look at our opponent's lineup. Who did well? Oops, didn't want to go to calendar there. What am I doing? Okay, 2 stats central here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the lineup we are facing first round of the playoffs. This is a good segue for the next video. LA Kings right next to us. Good to see. Okay, so centerman, they still got Anze Kopitar, 31 years old. They still got Jeff Carter, 34 years old. Andy Andrioff, he was on the 4th line, I think, in real life right now. And Nick Shore, who's actually a pretty good forward as well. Pretty balanced, 26-year-old top 9. 82 overall. Looks like he's taken the 4th line, and looks like their point totals were pretty balanced out. They got that 1-2 punch in Carter Kopitar, but then it kind of drops off with Andrioff and Nick Shore. I think our centerman had a few more points than they did. Left wing, they got Marion Gabrick still, Tanner Pearson, Michael Mersch. He's new or was in or is currently in the minors in real life. Michael Latta, only 8 overall. I thought he was, I guess, he was on the Flyers, I believe. But not too worried about points there. Lucic had way more points than all these guys. Okay, right wing, we got Tyler Toffoli still on the team, Dustin Brown still on the team, Trevor Lewis still on the team, Kyle Clifford still on the team, and Christopher Stieg, who is only a 77 overall, only played 37 games too, so it looks like he's their healthy scratch. So 91 drops off to an 85, 83, and then an 82. Pretty good first liner in Toffoli, 26-year-old, almost maxed out. Looks like he's got the exact same star status at, like, on the right-hand side, puck skill, senses, shooting, defense, skating, physical, as McDavid, which is interesting to see, even though McDavid's like a 94 overall. He did get like double the points, so I'm not too worried. He's only 22 years old. Defense. This is where we really got to watch out, okay? So they got a franchise defenseman in Drew Doughty. We have absolutely nobody even close that can compare to him, okay? Adam Larson, low elite potential, 85 overall. That's our next closest thing, and he only got 22 points. See, Drew Doughty really contributes to the offense. He's got 55 points. Even Jake Muzzin and Alec Martinez got more points than our top defensemen. So, a pretty seasoned veteran core there. 29 years old Doughty, 30-year-old Muzzin, and 31-year-old Alec Martinez. But then it kind of drops off. Derek Forbert only got 4 points. Matt Green, 35 years old. And Kevin Gravel, never heard of this guy before. And Ruslan Sbrev. I don't know what to call that guy. I think Jonathan Quick's still on this team too. Let's go ahead and check that out. Yeah, so he's Jonathan Quick is also a good player. We have to keep in mind. I mean, he's 93 overall, .935 save percentage. They definitely have some playmakers here. So his goals against average is below 2. So if we're gonna win this series, we're either gonna have to score a shit ton or we're gonna have to stop them from scoring, because we seem to do one or the other. We can't do both and absolutely dominate a team at once. I don't think we had any dominating wins this season. Well, maybe that one we had against the Toronto Maple Leafs, but that's about it. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And, you know, bring your Edmonton cheering spirit for the next video. You know, this is our first time ever in the playoffs. We're going against the 2014 and the 2012 Stanley Cup champions. Or is it 2015 and 2012? I forget. And yeah, so that's going to wrap it up for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.